What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another highly combustible reaction. We're jumping into some history. The Exiled Princess of Ottawa. Let's jump in and let's check it out together. I highly suggest everybody go down and read the story on the original video inside the description. I might drop it down inside mine as well, but I would love to put some more people over to Canadiana. Definitely get over there, show them all the love of the world, and let's see what we got. It might be some things that we already know in here. We've covered a lot of Dutch history. We know that they send tulips to Canada, etc., etc. We know about all of that, but let's see. Let's jump in. Let's check it out together. Let's see what we got. It's coming at us thanks to Jeff, by the way. They really are beautiful, beautiful flowers.
This is Commissioner's Park in Ottawa. Every May, 500,000 people gather to watch the city bloom. The annual Tulip Festival is the biggest in the world. The event has become so synonymous with Ottawa that its origins have gotten a little lost. Even if you know that 10,000 of these tulips are an annual gift from the Netherlands, you might not know why. The answer involves royalty, rights of succession, and the liberation of a nation. A story that takes us back more than 75 years to a much darker May. This is Canadiana.
This is already very, very cool. We're not even into it, but a minute. Like, seriously, I'm looking forward to it.
May 1940. The Nazis are tearing through the Netherlands. As the invaders draw near, the Dutch royal family makes a narrow escape, fleeing to London to establish a government in exile. But London isn't exactly safe either. The Battle of Britain is about to begin. Over the next few months, German bombs will kill tens of thousands of British civilians. Queen Wilhelmina fears for her children and her grandchildren, so they're evacuated all the way across the ocean. Crown Princess Juliana and her two daughters, Beatrix and Irene.
This is very cool effects. That was a badass effect.
Crown Princess Juliana and her two daughters, Beatrix and Irene, settle in Ottawa, here in Rockcliffe Park, to await the fate of their homeland. The war rages for 3 more dark years with no end in sight. But there is one glimmer of hope from the exiled family. Princess Juliana is pregnant. There's another princess on the way. The news is a great boost for Dutch morale, but politically, it's a thorny issue. Suddenly, archaic rules about bloodlines and right of succession are serious issues in Ottawa. Canada has to be sure that Juliana's child is born 100% legally and solely Dutch. So, as the due date approached, they prepared 4 rooms here at Ottawa Civic Hospital. It's a common misconception that the maternity ward was declared Dutch territory for the birth, but that's a myth. The truth is, it didn't need to be. Canada practices jus soli, birthright citizenship. If you're born on Canadian soil, you are a Canadian. But the Dutch, on the other hand, only practice jus sanguinis, right of blood. If you're born to Dutch parents, it doesn't matter where you're born, you're Dutch. So Juliana's daughter would automatically be born Dutch, though there still was one problem. They needed to make sure she wasn't also accidentally born Canadian. And so the maternity ward didn't become Dutch territory. It became denationalized. While Juliana was giving birth, no nation had claim to the ward. It was like a little puddle of international waters. On a freezing cold January afternoon, just a few blocks from Holland Avenue, Juliana gave birth to a baby girl. She was named after a flower, a symbol of Dutch resistance against the Nazis. Little baby Margriet. That day, for the first and only time, a foreign flag flew from the Peace Tower. And the Canadians weren't done yet. 2 years later, in 1945, the 1st Canadian Army swept into the Netherlands. The Royal Air Force launched Operation Manna, airdropping food to the starving population. The grateful people below spelled out thank you messages using the national flower of the Netherlands, tulips. The 1st Canadian Army would go on to liberate the Netherlands. On a very sunny May the 5th, the occupying forces officially surrendered. Juliana Beatrix, Irene, and little Marguerite were going home. Later that same year, despite suffering horrible post-war scarcity, the Netherlands sent Canada a gift, 100,000 tulips. And the next year, they sent another 10,000. And then again, and again, and again, every year since.
It was hard damn times back then, trying times. We learned about all of it. The fact that it's still so modern. There are still people alive who can talk about how it felt to be back then. It's not that old of a war. And the fact that we've kept this tradition going, that we've never let the thanks die out. That's something absolutely beautiful.
In 2001, the tulip was declared the official flower of Ottawa, further strengthening the bond. And now, every May, the city blooms in bright tribute to those dark days of the Second World War, when Canada sheltered a princess and freed a nation.
Oh, absolutely heartbreaking, but
famous
beautiful at the same time.
Canadian writer Farley Mowat was there at the end of the war. As the hostilities drew to a close and the people of the Netherlands were in danger of starvation, Captain Mowat and another soldier took it upon themselves to drive straight at the Germans with a big white flag so they could talk their way behind enemy lines and then negotiate a truce with a Nazi general, which is what allowed Operation Manna to begin and the planes to start dropping their supplies. You can learn more about that story in the links we'll post and the description below. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, please subscribe. We want to tell many more stories from every corner of this giant country, but to do it, we'll need your support. You can become a regular supporter by becoming a patron on Patreon, or you can give us a one-time donation through PayPal. Every little bit helps and gets us closer to telling more stories. You can also follow us on social media to get all the latest updates and all the most interesting information about the history of Canada at This Is Canadiana. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Adam Bunch. I'll see you next time on Canadiana.
It's absolutely a touching story. It's a story that shouldn't ever die. Shout out to Canadiana for keeping the real alive, for keeping the things out there that people should never forget about. I've never been in an occupied territory. I've never had my freedom stripped away. I've never been starving, so to the point where I had to eat whatever was available. So I can see why people are still to this day teaching their kids about the people that came in freedom, about the people that came and saved them from what was going on. It was a world in chaos. There should definitely still be stories told. There should definitely still be stories passed down. For all the people that aren't from the Netherlands or Canada, we should know these stories. We should definitely keep the history alive. That's what Canadiana's doing. Get over there if you want to check out some more. I highly recommend it. The link's right there inside the description. Super underrated on YouTube. They should have 1 million followers already. People should care about this. Go show them that you care. Smash the like button if you liked it. The dislike button, but I won't believe you. Till the next one, I'm either Combustible. You guys be happy, healthy, safe. But let me to the moon and back. Peace.